Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. The Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. Starting off the holiday weekend, we will be racing through Monday, Dr. Martin Luther King Day, this coming Monday.
8 of the next 10, in fact.
That's correct. 8 of the next 10. I know, well, we're fresh off the 4-day freshening. You're finished your
residency
stint of calling. Johnny I is back in the booth.
Johnny I is back. Johnny I came back bearing gifts.
I didn't
Do you
get
know
one.
what 6 months from today is?
Yeah, opening day at Saratoga. I want to discuss the gifts first.
That was it.
I got
that was
nothing.
the gift. The gift of.
Oh, I thought that was
the
like.
gift. No. That was it.
Okay.
He's giving me enough. I'm good with Johnny.
No, I get nothing.
You get nothing. You get bookers.
I get nothing. I get stuck with you. You're right. Six months to opening. We assume. I mean, we haven't officially announced anything, so who knows? But you know, if we follow the calendar of prior years.
I also believe it is redded out on the virtual calendar at Nairabets.com, the racing calendar that we tweeted
Well, I mean,
out.
it's reasonable to assume that you go back 8 weeks from Labor Day. It's not.
Everything racing-wise is the earliest it could be this year, right?
Don't say racing-wise.
Everything in racing. Derby's May 1st, and then everything kind of goes from there.
You need to head over to Nairabets.com. If you're not a member of Nairabets.
Immediately.
Immediately, exactly right. Use promo code MATCH200. We'll match with $200 your initial deposit. Support racing in New York and keep the money in the game. Play through Nairabets. Also want to let people know, in case you don't know, we'll have our first edition of many, America's Day at the Races. We'll be doing shows, I think, pretty much every weekend, here on out, basically. But this weekend, we'll have just a Saturday show, 6 to 7. Greg and myself, I believe Maggie. I mean, I'm a little slow in these things, but I'd like to think she'll be joining us. I just saw her. She's here. Saw her downstairs. It's nice to see her. And we'll be covering the Lecomte, the Silver Bullet Day and the Lecomte in that order.
Yes.
Did a little preview video of that, actually. I'll put that up on Twitter, hopefully, shortly. Get that out in the
Bobby Newman and I will be going over all of the Fairground Stakes action on the Weekend Stakes preview presented by Nairabets tonight at 6 p.m. Tonight at 6. So you can listen to us tonight at 6 at HRRN, Sirius 219 XM 201 if you have satellite radio. And then tomorrow night you can watch Andy, Greg, and Maggie.
What's the Mine Shaft or something? Is that the
Louisiana's tomorrow.
Who's in there? Anybody interesting?
The return of Wells Bayou, who won the Louisiana Derby last year. So who's back?
That's exciting.
Trying to keep a straight face. The Marie G. Krantz is on the
nobody was
turf.
talking about that in the subway, you know?
Silver
Usually there's a little chatter about the Louisiana.
Silver Bullet Day should be good. Sunpath.
Actually, I thought the Silver Bullet Day and the Lecomte were interesting races.
Both of them. Sunpath, it'll be interesting to see how Sunpath behaves.
What about the Cassie horse trying dirt for the first time in the rail, the Super Horse? That horse is pretty good.
She was, they canceled on her closing week. She was ready to, and I had Mark Cassie on HRN that week, and he was very excited to run her then. Now she hasn't run in 2 months, 7 weeks since that cancellation, so we'll see. First time
I thought that Phil Ballard horse, the number 4 horse, was very interesting in there. That horse had a trip last time out. I found the Lecomte wide open.
Sunpath carrying the Juddmonte, the pink and
so
green.
There's Mandaloon, and the...
Mandaloon.
I'm not...
Actually, I said Mandaloon too, but I was told
I think it's Mandaloon, I'm not sold on that horse.
It's a window, apparently. A Mandaloon is a window.
Boy, the information you get on Talking Horses. Race number 1. The current favorite in race number 1 is Churchiro. We'll take a look at Churchiro in a sloppy track at Belmont Park. And, you know, we're always joking how we show races where you or I took a brutal beat. This was actually a big win for me. The Linda Rice horse coming out of the clouds to get the win. And Churchiro had the race won. This was a mile. Now, keep in mind, this is a sloppy track. But one of the reasons I wanted to show it, discuss the sloppy track is, in fairness to Churchiro, it's really amazing. This horse has only had 2 dry track races, and there's an argument that 2 better races the horse ever ran, actually. The best race in the dirt ever ran. 6-6 Buyer in that tough Saratoga Pal race off a layoff, and then that race at Belmont in November of 2019 behind Chowda. Thought that was a solid effort. I think that the dirt and dry track may help him. I'm just getting a little tired of him, to be honest. And
I'm a lot tired of him.
He should have won that race. I mean, he just should have won that day.
He was home Jerome that day. And then he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him. Now, I got to tell you something. I'm not sold on the horse you have on top either. I like him even less than I like Churchiro. I'm not excusing his last race.
You see, to me, it's as simple as just going back into the claiming ranks. I really do. I really think his choice.
But he ran fine and maiden special a race before that?
Yeah, but it was on a wet track.
Okay.
So what? I think his two races.
But he handled a dry track the tie race before that. Yeah. So why it's not that he moved up on a wet track?
I just think the 2 races. I understand what you're saying about the last race.
He's going to be short, too. I don't think he's going to be 4-1. See, I'm interested. I like the 1 and 6.
Doesn't Churchiro have to take a ton of money? Doesn't Avowed Beauty have to take some money in here?
Yeah, but I'm interested to see if David's right that the 6 will be a shorter price than the 3.
Well, he's a first-time tech.
You know, yeah, I know. You know, I actually called David because I was trying to decide if I picked the 1 or 6 in here, and I called him the other day and said, you know, who are you going to make? What price are you going to make these 2? And he said he was going to make the 6 3-1 and the 1 6-1. So I said, okay, I'll pick the 1 that's twice the price. I don't love me and Sapp's last race, but he does have other races that are fast enough, and he's going back in for a tag as well, even though he's run at that level before. And I just wanted to give him a chance getting back in with the maiden claimers in there. But I like Avowed Beauty as well, dropping down for the first time. Thought it was interesting. Comes out of that Raven Rocks race. I'm kind of sick of Churchiro and Black Irish. Not that they can't win, because they obviously can.
Okay.
But I wanted to use the 2 horses I thought might be slightly better prices.
Okay.
No, nothing clever. I mean, it's not like you totally disagree. It's
no, not at all. We're kind of on the same page with Churchiro and just on a little bit of a different page with Black Irish.
Tough to make up any case for the others, especially with the 1st or the 10 scratching out late.
Yes.
Race number 2, 5-horse fields can be funny because I struggled with this one. I don't know what to do in here, and you've got Kansas Kiss on top. And my problem with Kansas Kiss in here, and she's sort of the worst to beat, she is the very essence of last time was the time.
I guess.
Well, she was 15-1, Anthony. She's going to be 2-1 or 8-5 today, and it's a tougher. Well, I don't know if it's a tougher field.
I don't know if it's a tougher field either.
Yeah, no, I
don't
agree.
know if it's a tougher field either. And quite frankly, Andy, you know what? When push came to shove here, as far as making a pick, I think she might just be the best horse in the race. You've had a little bit of an affinity for her. She ran well last winter in spots where she belonged. They took a couple of shots with her, and they didn't fare too well. You know what? She's a year older now. She came back with a big effort.
Her pusher was very, very good.
Very good.
I mean, that was a giant effort. She was much the best. By the way, I read an article. Rudy thinks Water White's going to win a Grade 1 this year. I wish him the best of luck. She was very fortunate to beat Kansas Kiss that day. Very fortunate to beat Kansas Kiss, who ran a giant race. I mean, that wasn't Eric's fault. But at the end of the day, he ended up moving too soon. I don't blame him for it, but he definitely moved too soon. She's okay. Look at Jen Emily. I tried Jen Emily last time. I thought Jen Emily actually ran pretty well behind a horse, Ujjayi, who's really improving, Anthony, as we go to that replay.
Yeah. Ujjayi was good. I kind of had some doubts about her getting a mile. She got it just fine. My problem with this filly, I think, is she kind of has to have things go perfectly for her. Last time, she probably went a little too fast. You know, but you look at some of her other wins. The win down at Laurel, she's right on top of a pretty slow pace for the 1-turn mile. The win here last year on President's Day. She got to the lead, again, slow pace, just kept on going.
This wasn't a slow pace last time.
No, there wasn't, and she ran okay, but
she ran very well.
She needs, I think, to get to the winner's circle, she needs optimal circumstances. What's going to happen when Foxtail breaks today after not breaking last time off the little bit of the break?
Well, Foxtail's not really that fast. I mean, I actually think that I think that Kansas Kiss is faster. I doubt they're aggressive because Dylan Davis isn't that aggressive a rider. I think that Kendrick's going with Flash and Dynamite. I thought Flash and Dynamite was a little bit interesting last. You know, he chased wide last time out. The inside was the place to be. I thought Flash and Dynamite was kind of an interesting wild card in this race.
Yeah, to me, unless she goes.
I think she is going.
Okay. Well,
I don't think his pace is going to be super high.
I don't either. And with that said, I would have to imagine that's going to pull Foxtail into it. That's why I don't think they're going to go 46. I couldn't care less. I wouldn't bet
Foxtail in this race. I mean, I've got her third, fourth. I'm using 1-4 and a little 3. I don't like Foxtail. I think her wins are completely dressed up. I'm not a big fan of hers.
She might not be fast enough.
She was awful last time.
Yeah, but she was out of her game from the bell, Andy.
I guess. I don't know. I guess. Out of her game. She wasn't in a 3-horse off the turf field. We'll see. I know her win last the time before that, but I thought there was some unaggressive riding in that race, and I'll be very surprised if Kendrick isn't aggressive with Flash and Dynamite.
Well, there was, but one of the unaggressive rides was Jen Emily, and she was able to get in front of you. You know what I mean?
I agree, but Jen Emily will go enough to make sure. But I don't think it matters because I think Kendrick's going today.
Well,
I could be wrong, but I think he's going.
You're building a very strong case for Kansas Kiss, because if all of these horses are kind of sorting themselves out on the front
Kansas
end,
Kiss is naturally
she's not going to be that far. Yeah,
but she's naturally faster than Jen Emily, so I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see how this race is run. I don't want to I don't want to take a big stand.
It's
I just assumed that Kendrick would go with a 3 simply because that's the way she needs to go to win this race.
Agreed.
And the other horses might be more stalker types.
Agreed.
Race number 3. I mean, they scratched one ridiculous horse and one contender. Oh, actually, I won a lunch on your ridiculous horse and scratched the 2 last time.
Yeah, I just
Up
want
to
to point
59,
out. I just want
by
to
the way,
point
I won
out.
my lunch.
I just want to point out stumbled start. I want to point that out.
Yeah, otherwise the horse would have been right there.
Normally those bets get avoided.
No.
Right.
It's getting left 4 lengths or 5 lengths.
Right.
It's an incident. It's not stumbling at the start. We've had plenty of them that we've let go. Please stop whining.
Right.
The number is 59 in case anybody wants to know.
The announcer pointed out numerous times this horse stumbled at the start. That's all I want to say.
I just want to say something else. That was some bet you lost to me the other day. I had like a horse with like double-digit odds.
By the way,
you had 2 of the 3 horses at 4 to 5.
I was giving you a bonus if she beat all 3. I was giving you.
She got beat a
lunch.
nose to beat all 3.
I thought she lost the bomb.
You thought I was crazy
Outside,
leaving that 3-horse entry off my top 4. I hated that entry.
That was one of the wildest. I mean, how about a race where just nobody did any running?
Well, it looked like that on paper, didn't it? Did it look like there was
you're going to pick that horse out of the bingo drum to be the one that did the running? She ran for a half mile.
I bet her last time.
Oh, I wish I would have known that. I would have used her in the pick 4.
I bet her last time. So, in race number 3, I guess Reedkhan is the horse to beat. You know, this horse I was talking to David about. David did make a reasonable case. This horse did run pretty well in his races, and last time out he was chasing Chateau, so he was good. But then you have a voided claim and a 5-month break, and this horse kind of got good. No, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but after being bad for a while.
Well, here's.
And I don't trust this horse to catch
Here's
lightning
the
in a
yin
bottle
and the
again.
yang of Reedkhan.
Is it Khan or Khan?
I'm going to go with Khan.
Be an H.
There's no
Khan?
H, yeah. There was the Khan of Khans was H and H, remember? He was that fast horse.
I remember Khan Khans. He was a Western Water horse, broke his maiden up in Saratoga.
Yeah.
He beat a Karlovich horse, the horse that came back and ran in the Champagne and ran 3rd.
So we could say Reedkhan got good after the COVID break. He got a little freshening. Now he gets a freshening again.
Yeah, but he had been bad in 2 different stints.
He was. I'm not this horse's biggest fan today either. I got him second via the scratch. But if you like him today, you can argue that when he had that little 3-month break from March to June, he came back. He found his speed, which is very important for these horses. You know, these horses that win on the front end. It's like a shortstop in the center field losing their legs in baseball. When they lose their legs, when they lose their speed, it's done. This horse lost his speed for a while. He found it and came back with 2 pretty good races. The problem is, it kind of left in the Saratoga race, but he was a fast pace.
He was chasing Chateau, who's about as fast.
The voided claim is the big problem.
And the layoff following the voided claim is the concern.
Yes.
So I don't need the favorite. And horse to beat, arguably. The question is, who else do you want? You know, I found a stat on Shamrock for Eddie Barker, who has good numbers off the claim, actually. And don't have too many Barker claims. The problem with him is he's got to deal with Reedkhan.
And on their fastest days, he's not as fast as Reedkhan.
Reedkhan's pretty quick, though.
Yes,
I mean, Shamrock's pretty quick, too.
He is. But on their fastest days...
I understand, but he's going. If you're rating Shamrock, he's got no shot. I'm not saying they're going to be blazing out there, but he's got to deal with Reedkhan.
But you'd almost have to think.
What if Reedkhan doesn't show up off the layoff?
They have to.
What if Reedkhan doesn't show up off the layoff?
Listen, he could. There's a chance he doesn't show up off the layoff.
So the question becomes, who do you trust? Now, Home Run Maker, who I've got second, you have on top. I mean, this horse ran as bad as my horse last time out. I would argue actually ran worse than my horse last time.
I can't listen.
They both ran horrendously. That was a weird race, that Mitre Porciento race.
Yes, it was.
The rail was good, and just like the whole field got lost in that race.
Whole field. That's the best way. It was right. It was like suspended animation. Like nobody did. Everybody was all over the place. Nobody did any real running. You found the right horse in the race. I'm just giving him one more chance. I mean, I know Rudy's more potent first off the claim, but that was just a weird race. This horse kind of had some trouble at the start.
The problem is his form was sort of deteriorating before it. And he's got spotty. He's entered. Trust me, I picked him second. I thought I'd put him on top.
I had a tough time. I had a tough time with this
listen,
race.
I've taken a horse, Vici, who's now 9 years old, and there's a chance he can't run at all anymore.
But at least you're going to get, you're going to find out with him at 5 or 6 to 1. Because,
that's what I thought. I looked at the race and I thought about picking Shamrock. I said, what's he going to do with Reedkhan in here? I thought that Home Run Maker would be shorter, and I thought, you know what? There is a Vici that's good enough to be a player.
There is.
The problem is the good Vici still never won. He's only 4 for 43 lifetime with 21 seconds and thirds. I think he's going to run better. I feel like he, along with everybody, got lost last time out. I'm a little concerned he's not much worse anymore, but I think he deserves one more chance.
And truth be told, see, I'm kind of in the camp that I don't know how much he wants to do this anymore. The truth of the matter is, he's the class of this race.
Yeah, but he may just not be able to run.
But he might not be
right.
But you know what though? Again, and this is the most important thing, you're going to find out at the right price. You're not going to find out at 2 to 1 or 5 to 2. You're going to find out at 5 or 6 to 1 in a 5-horse field.
All right.
And he's also a horse, by the way, that in his day was not without speed. He
can be forward. I agree. He will be forward. He's not as fast as 4 and 5, but at one time he was very, very fast. Yeah. Race number 4, I'm annoyed. I loved Obligatory in here. I absolutely love this horse. I'm really upset that he scratched. Sorry to see that. I was looking forward to her. I was going to bet her even at 5 to 2 or something in this race. And it leaves me with a horse, Command and Control, who is the horse to beat. And we'll take a look at the replay last time. But this horse just kind of suck up. Sort of get second by default last time.
I felt the same exact way. But could kind of say that I felt like the way she finished up, and this was behind a highly touted Clement Firster. I think Maggie may have even said in the paddock that she looked like she was going to want a little bit more ground, and she gets it today.
Well, I mean, it's not like she's running at the end. I mean, she just sort of held her ground and lost a little ground, so I'm not convinced that she ran like a horse is going to do better with more ground. I don't know. I mean, I've got her, I scratch into her because I don't want anybody else here, but I liked Obligatory, so I'm actually kind of annoyed. And I'm a little, I shamed Sean. Do you know that Sean just texted me and asked me about a first-time start in a maiden claiming race at Gulfstream?
That's terrible.
That's so embarrassing.
Well, that was you, it wasn't me.
He admitted it was.
That's bad. Come on, Sean. You're better. Sean, the problem with it is you're better than that.
I don't know if he is. After that, I'm not sure. You know.
Yeah, this is a fun. This is a. I bit.
It's kind of more turf.
I bit. I know. I bit. No. I absolutely bit.
You worried that Gargan had a couple of horses that looked good on paper in the last few days, the last week, stinking up, losing?
That'll be a conversation that we're going to have.
Well, that tomorrow. Yes.
Yes. That conversation will definitely be had tomorrow.
Yeah, that bothered me a little.
But the difference is those horses were short prices. This horse is going to be. I thought this. See, I didn't think
it's not going to be a big price,
no,
especially with the scratching it up. Where else are people going to go now?
There's nowhere really to go.
Command and Control is going to be even money 6 to 5. This horse is going to get bet. There's nowhere really else to go.
I had a little push on Baba, first time out. Didn't do any running. Really?
Well, that's quite a tip you got.
Yeah, no.
He's really just, boy,
but listen,
she's
we've seen
superstar.
plenty of these Tommy Albatrani horses take a few starts to get out of the maiden ranks. But it, had a little push.
I don't know. Maybe she has some pedigree and she's worth saving as a broodmare. That's why she's not in a maiden claiming race.
Guess.
But she wouldn't. That's where she belongs.
Yeah.
I think I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost a little bit interesting in this race.
Okay.
I think there's more speed, perhaps, than her inside of her, but I think she's a little interesting. Her last race wasn't atrocious.
What about the other Mott? What about Lightfoot?
I hate that.
Miss?
I think that horse has no ability whatsoever.
Okay.
I mean, that horse's first race was atrocious. That horse's second race
she was in that
second
scrum
by default.
on the wire, but then
wasn't Spa Ready that slow Chad Brown horse that won at 6 to 1 and came back and attempted.
But listen,
no running,
at least she gained ground in both of those races. Then they tried turf, it didn't work.
She gained ground first time out because the race completely collapsed in the last 16th of a mile.
She gained some ground second time too.
So what?
I'm not saying a lot. Maybe a little more ground. I mean, they put her on the turf. They put her along
ground
the turf.
races that are coming home with a sundial.
Yeah.
What about Rhythm and Power, the first time starter? I like the work on Rhythm and Power.
Okay.
10 and a fifth. I'm surprised to see Michelle starting this horse based on the work, going a mile. There's really no pedigree. They probably bought the horse off looks and the work. I like the work. I could use that horse.
Okay.
Use the first turn here. Why?
No.
Somebody you're scared of in here?
Nope.
The 6 is just a
There's
horse.
There's no fear in this race.
Right. I mean, the 6 may win, and it does feel like the horses for Chad's barn have been running well up here the last week or so.
Yeah.
They've actually picked it up a little bit.
Had good winters.
No, I know. Well, Subsidized ran well.
Subsidized ran really well.
Yeah, he improved.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it for the first 4. Of course, race number 4, by the way, does start the late pick 5. Race number 3 starts the pick 6. Mandatory payout every day in January, at least, if not going forward. No carryovers in the pick 6. The late pick 5 can have one, but it starts in race number 4. Late pick 4 starts in race 5. Quick break. Go over the second half of the card.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Nairabets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Nairabets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Nairabets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, the Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. Race number 5 begins the late pick 4, and this race gave me a massive headache. I basically looked through this field and said, I don't want this one, I don't want that one, I don't want any of these horses. We'll take a look at your horse on top, Jackie Milton. I particularly detest this horse, and
that's a strong word,
I actually was hoping this horse was scratched and Dashi would run, because I thought Dashi was a lot more interesting than she was, and she was against it last time out. This horse had absolutely everything go her way on a gold rail, was given the lead on a foolish ride by a horse that should have been in front, and you got $80 last time, and now Anthony wants to take her off of a dressed-up win at 1/20th the price she was.
I want you to tell me where else I'm supposed to go.
You're supposed to bet against this horse. You're supposed to begin your play by saying, I'm going to bet against La Negrita and Jackie Milton.
With
and then
who?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to handicap.
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
no,
it doesn't matter.
Hold on.
Well, this
I handicapped the way I handicapped.
Of course, it's not winning.
Andy, okay, so let me ask you a question. I want you to, serious question here. Am I going to bet a ton of money on this horse today? I'm absolutely not betting a ton of money on this horse. Let me explain, but let me ask you a question. Let's say, for argument's sake, everything you just said was right.
Well, it is.
Everything, of course, I mean, you're never wrong.
I said it, therefore it's right.
You're never wrong. Let's say everything's right. Let's knock her figure down 10 points.
Right.
Let's give her a 63.
Well, why don't we, no, I got another idea. Why don't we just assume that it's just a complete fluke and she gets back to her 40s and 50s she ran? The only thing she has
because
going
she was
for
first-time dirt.
It's his only dirt race. Anthony, what price is this horse going to be?
Andy, I know, listen, I'm not, but I don't love her. But we got to make, I have to make a pick in the race. I don't want Wicked Style. I don't want Wicked Style going a mile.
Well, good thing. She's only going 7 today, so it's good news for her.
Going the 7, rather. I'd rather her a little more stretched out than having to go 7. Yeah, because there's nowhere else to go. I'm not going to go pick La Negrita for a horse that needs to be in the middle of the track.
Speaking of La Negrita,
she needs to be in the middle of the track, and she's down on the rail. She needs to be outside of horses.
Well, she can end up outside of horses.
I guess.
She's going to be coming from behind.
I guess. I mean, that race last time.
This was Joel Rosario's swan song.
It was.
It's the last ride before he went to California, and
she's in a 4-path, 5-path. She likes to run out there. This is what she does. She broke her maiden. She almost wound up in the infield, in the stands. This is what she does. Now she's got to deal with the rail. And no offense to Jorge Vargas, but he's not exactly Joel Rosario.
He had a good week last week.
Had a great week last week, and he's doing really well. He's had a good 10 days.
And he rode very well.
He did. I'm not saying that, but he's not Joel Rosario. And you got
a terrible number for Rudy off of wins, and I think this fits it because it's moving up.
I got plenty of love for La Negrita, but you now have to trust a horse
to win back-to-back.
To win back-to-back, who's finished second or third in 10 or 18 starts.
You know,
yeah, but I got nowhere else to go.
See, that's the difference.
I can't just conjure things up from midair.
You come up with ridiculous bad horses off wins because nobody likes horses off wins.
And you pick Gentle Annie.
Now, I will say with Gentle Annie, she may be a little bit faster on a wet track. Her race 2 back is fast enough to contend here as she drops down. She had no shot with the horses she ran with last time. She was awful. I was looking through here. I agree with you. This is a very, very hard race. I'm kidding around with you, though. I think the one is about as bad a bet as you'll find in America today in any race at a short price. I just can't stand her. I don't think she's going to win, but I think she'll be short, and I think she was very lucky to win last time. But maybe, first start of the dirt, maybe she'll turn out to be a dirt horse.
Listen, I don't think you're necessarily wrong.
I hear you. It's just these are horses I'm never going to bet. I don't bet horses off wins very often. They're generally the worst underlays in racing.
That's fine.
And generally, Annie has races can win it, and I don't like anybody else, and she's going to be a price. But she was bad last time, but she was in against much better. Her race 2 back gives her a chance here, though. She actually didn't run that badly last time, but 2 back. We'll see. Maybe she'll like the slop. I don't know.
Strange race.
It is a strange race. I agree. I had a lot of trouble with a lot of these races. Race number 6, at the end of the day, the horse on the rail that you have on top and I have second, Heirloom Kitten, is about a week the horse to beat in this race.
Yeah.
And I found this race to be a very difficult race to pick anybody other than the 1, 5, and 9. And Heirloom Kitten is the horse to beat. I guess the question becomes how much pressure does Dylan put on with Road to Meath? Because in reality, Road to Meath is actually a faster horse because this horse is involved, and this is going up to Saratoga 3 starts back and got nailed by Per Capita, and I think this is 3 back, right? This is 4 back.
No,
this is actually the win.
This is the last win.
But I mean, you look at that race, that was solid, losing to Per Capita and Hunt to the front. Those are better horses.
She's back, and the thing is, he's not a true drop down. This is where he was. He was running for 40. He was running for 20. He won the starter. He's a claiming horse.
Yes and no. You're not wrong, but it's still Linda on the drop after 2 mediocre efforts. On the other hand, this has been running against horses that are
Forzadoro on Our Last Buck.
Right.
Our Last Buck came back to win.
Yeah. Is Forzadoro pointing to the race formerly known as the Don?
No.
Why not?
I don't believe so. I don't know.
Should find out. Mott your boy. Give him a call.
I don't know. They both won stakes. Our Last Buck won the...
Oh, yeah, and Forzadoro won the Discovery.
Forzadoro won the
I
Discovery.
thought he was an interesting horse for the race formerly known as the Don.
Me too. Does that have a symbol, like when Prince changed his name? Remember when Prince changed his name?
I'm going to refer to all those races. The race formerly known as the Ancient Title,
Oh, you're going to go... Wow. It's a lot of words.
I'm very bitter about them changing the name of the Ancient Title to the Santa Anita Sprint Championship. Ancient Title. He's like legendary. Truly one of the great California breds of all time. I think he's the first cow bred to win $1 million. Such a great name. And to change your generic name.
We had a conversation about this on radio yesterday, about some of the races that we don't run anymore. Pominock, Cold Town.
Well, I mean, because
these races,
you hate losing the names. I agree.
You hate losing the names.
I have a problem if they canceled a race because of it, but to change. For instance, the Zenyatta. Obviously, Zenyatta is a legend in California. That's
Can't you just
fine.
go give her another
but they
race?
changed it from the Lady's Secret. It's a legend too.
Right, that's the problem.
Make one of the other names the Zenyatta. It's all good, or make one of the other races the Lady's Secret. But why do we lose the Lady's Secret?
Right,
she's a bi-coastal horse.
They gave the Beholder.
Yeah, that's a race. I forget what race that was. That's cool. But let's
do that
because it's funny. I was at camp again. We discussed it today. I was watching When We Were Kings, some of it again yesterday, and Spike Lee was talking about young people not knowing about history. And I was thinking how, and he was obviously talking more about sports and different things, but how that relates to racing. And how are we going to remember the history of racing when we're, changing the names of Lady's Secret? She only ran 35 years ago. It's not like she ran. And even then, you got to keep the old names around so people can learn about them.
Is it still a Lady's Secret Cafe at Monmouth?
Probably.
Right outside.
Yeah, it's nice out there.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
I think it's still a Lady's Secret Cafe.
Yeah. Why would they change the name? Okay, anyway, that rant is over.
I picked the Heirloom Kitten.
He's the worst to beat.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions is how much pressure you think Road to Meath is coming, and if you're worried about the drop. I agree with you. The horse running against better horses. He's supposed to win. I'm not going to. But, I'm inherently suspicious of short prices that are dropping precipitously.
That's fine.
Especially for Linda. Because Linda, as you know, Linda Rice is a trainer, and she can win with these drops, but she's deadly.
Barn's been a little quiet, too. The barn's been a little quiet, too.
Sneakiness. Legitimate put up, ran the best race.
Right. Sneakiness probably would have won.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree, and I bet the horse that got taken down.
Right.
I tried 12th Labor. I'm not in love with 12th Labor. Do I? No, it's not this race. Michelle Devon off the claim. This horse has been in some sharp barns. You know, watching the last race at 12th Labor, this felt like one of those kickback horses. This horse was buried down inside. I thought this was a day where the track was fair, but kickback could have been an issue. Also was steadied out to 3/8. I wouldn't say it cost the horse the race, but down inside, gets steady, covered with dirt, taking all that kickback, now gets an outside post. I'm looking for an alternative. This is the best one that I could find.
I got to tell you, Andy, this horse.
Oh, you got Tri St. Lorenzo. You're going to put him second.
This horse has burned a lot of money lately, man. This
No,
horse
I
burned
agree.
a lot of money.
I agree. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Right? He's just
And he's got to get a mile.
You and I have talked about him for like the last 5 months, 6 months since Saratoga. They're just waiting for a little bit of a breakthrough
No
effort.
doubt.
And just
He was a
nothing
muddy
happening.
incinerator.
Nothing happened. I don't know what. I don't know. And you know what?
But at least he's a better price today. But you're not wrong.
True. And he's got to be frustrating because he has races.
Okay, can I bet you a lunch? Him get your horse Tri St.
Yeah,
Lorenzo.
we could do it.
Well, you got to, because I gave you that freebie with Tri St. Lorenzo last
that's why I have to. Yes, I know. What do you think I'm reluctantly saying yes for? Listen, 1, 5,
Did you
6,
see
9.
that embarrassing whine by the owner on Twitter today? That was really just embarrassing.
Which one?
I was embarrassed for him.
Who?
That Tri St. Lorenzo. Because I didn't like him last time. He's very upset.
Mike?
Yeah. I'm sure he's joking around. I'm sure he's joking around.
He is. Mike and Mandy are great. They're great
As
sports.
am I know.
And they're fantastic
I know,
for the sport.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm joking just as I know he was.
Of course. He was breaking the chops about Jeopardy last night. Secretaries.
Not me.
You kidding me? No, right. He was just, trying to break your
Seabiscuit is the fallback answer I've noticed on Jeopardy. Though actually, what's funny is there was a question about Seabiscuit. They talked about Laura Hillenbrand's book, blah, 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 and somebody guessed Black Beauty.
In any event.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those races where 1, 5, 6, or 9, I don't think I would be surprised by
I have the 6 a distant fourth. Sorry.
Okay.
I have a distant fourth. I don't think there's any chance that horse can win this race.
Okay.
Race number 7 is a very hard race, and I like the horse Ragtime Blues that scratched, so I changed my picks around because I think it changed the nature of the race. Schottsky is the horse to beat in here, the horse on the rail. I got to tell you something. We'll take a look at him winning the Remsen. This horse is Fountain of Youth. I recommend that people go back and watch the Fountain of Youth because he ran huge in there. He ran huge.
People are going to see that margin of defeat.
He was wide every step of the way. The winner just got a runoff, easy trip on the front end, and he ran really well. The problem is, for me, is that Jeremiah O'Dwyer has sort of mediocre numbers, to say the least, coming off of layoffs.
Yes.
And this is a tough spot. But I'm going to tell you something. This is a good horse. And I think could do very well this year. I'm just worried about him off the layoff and at a short price. I'm going to try to beat him.
I think that's fair. I think you have to worry about this as just being a jumping off point.
Jumping off what?
For the rest of the season.
I know, it's a joke.
I will say this, too, and I know you don't buy into this.
You're right.
I don't think people realize how tough these one-turn mile races are. The mile and the 16th races at Belmont, the mile races here, where these horses have essentially a 4.5 furlong dead run, straight run off the layoff. Listen, it tests your fitness. I could certainly tell you that.
Like Sir Winston last year in this race?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a good example.
Because he won this race last year.
He galloped in this race. We both disliked him.
Right. Oh, that's when his assistant trainer misbehaved so badly on Twitter. It was such an embarrassing moment for him.
Like you said, this is a number that's not great for the barn. For a barn that won at 20% last year and won with all types of runners, this horse can absolutely win today. He can absolutely win.
He'll beat Empty Tomb.
But he'll be shorter than that 7.
You got to have Empty Tomb in your top picks because you once got lucky with him. You're going to have him there for the rest of your life.
No.
So, Montauk Traffic, go ahead.
I think there's a lot to like about Montauk Traffic today.
He's also not going to be 5-1.
No, he won't be 5-1. I don't. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that because I think Schottsky's going to be a lot lower.
He's not going to be anywhere near 5-1.
But maybe you're
this
right.
will probably be closer to 5-2 and 5-1 in my opinion.
Maybe. Jimmy Wingfield, winner last year, ran well in the Gotham. We didn't see him for a while. Last time out, he was in that suspended animation race that we were talking about earlier. He looked like a horse that absolutely needed a race. Gets the race under his belt, stretches out to the mile, gets a pair of blinkers, gets a rider change to Jose Lezcano, who rode him for most of the winter last year. I think there's a lot to like today.
There is. The problem I have with him is he's never run a fast race. See, I think he's going to be shorter than the horse I picked on top. I could be wrong. David's usually right about these things.
After the scratch, before the scratch, I would have agreed. After the scratch of Ragtime Blues, which is really supposed to leave high velocity onto his own devices on the front end.
You don't think going with Schottsky?
I don't know. You think Schottsky's fast enough?
He's
I don't
quick.
think Schottsky's
He's
fast.
quick.
This horse is fast, Andy. This high velocity is fast.
Schottsky's quick too, but I think it's close. But it's a different pace scenario with the 3 coming out.
Yeah, much
Which
different.
is one of the reasons I liked high velocity. I'm not sold on high velocity, but he is coming out of 2 very tough races, and I thought, this is the day for Eric to go with him. And you know what? If I were Eric, I'd set a quick pace. I'd try to bottom this field.
That's what he's supposed
to be
to
honest
do.
with you.
No
I
question
think that's
about
the
it.
right move.
Let these horses, like you said, Montauk Traffic's never run really a particularly good race. Schottsky hasn't faced a starter in over 10 months. If you think those are the 2 horses you have to beat in here, just make them run. Make them run from the bell.
Yeah,
Go from the bell.
I'm going to use the 5. I got no problem with the 5. I made those picks. I thought the 5 would be a shorter price than the 6, and I knew you picked the 5. And I had to change my picks around after 3 scratched, and I didn't want to scratch the same horse as you. I thought it would be a shorter price. Malibu Pro. My problem with Malibu Pro is he had a very good trip last time. I know he had a little bobble at the start, but it was really kind of minor. And that race fell apart. He's not impossible, though, but I feel like there are just better horses than him in here, even though he's got some good figs, but I'm dubious.
I don't disagree with that. I thought he would be...
Oh, he'll be a better price. I agree.
See, there's no way Montauk Traffic's a higher... there's no way Montauk Traffic's a higher price than him, right?
No way. I think it's unlikely. I think of the 5, 6, and 10, he should be the biggest price.
But I'll tell you what, this horse's last 2 races...
They were fast.
He's in form, and he's a horse that has races in his past that are as fast as anything, if not faster, than the horses in this race today. So if he's coming around, he's the in-form horse with the recency, right?
Good outside post.
Good outside draw.
Position. No, I'm not. I got him 4th. I could use him in this race. I agree. He's not impossible. I'm not way against him.
This was a Woolworths for me. I was about 5s and dimes, a little empty tomb if it falls apart at a giant price. Schottsky has the potential and probably has the most blue sky in the field. That's how I saw it.
Schottsky's good.
Yeah.
I just have to question whether you want him in this race off the layout. I thought race number 8 was a very, very interesting race. And I'm going to start by showing the entire race that Sonic Speed, who's the 5, who I picked on top, and the 10, and what's my category, who's the 6 today and is number 10 in this race. They're the 11 and 10. Because Sonic Speed comes in and sort of kisses the horse inside, but then just gets like sort of just drops out of the race and was completely steadied back. I've seen enough of what's my category, to be honest. This horse lost to Bowing Snowman last time in a race he's just supposed to have won. And I think Sonic Speed ran remarkably well to get beaten just 3/4 length when you consider what happened early, because he just gets completely taken out of the race. And, what's my category, who I bet in here, is sort of jogging along towards the front. It was a tough beat. He was 4-1. It was a brutal beat, or almost 5-1. But that was the day for him, and I think that Sonic Speed just ran the much better race when you consider where he was, what he had to do and run around these, and of the 2, I much prefer the 5, and it'll be a better price today, too.
Did the turf effort last time bother you? Because this horse didn't run 2 steps after running clearly the fastest race of his career, second time out on the turf.
He was also outside, and I thought at the end of the meet there was an argument the rail got good. I don't know. He was involved in a slow pace. I'm not gonna harsh on a horse that ran in the turf course in December at Aqueduct.
Okay.
And he's going to be a much better price than the horse outside of him. And they hit the wire together, and he ran the much better race. So I prefer him. To me, it's as simple as that.
Fair enough. The last race on the turf race bothered me. What you bring up, that's a good point about the end of the meet and everything.
What's wrong with you want to try to help me? Noctilucent? What does that mean? Do we know? Should we look that up on Google?
It has to be Noctilucent.
We'll take a look at his
Nightlight.
We'll look at his last race in the half-mile home. This horse was chasing the pace early, up on the pace. I like that, Nocta. You could be right about that. Nightlight.
This is this is Bowling Snowman again.
Sort of drops out of the race, and I know the race kind of fell apart, but this horse was on top of the pace early before dropping back and was wide the whole way. I actually thought this horse ran pretty well in here.
Yeah, Louis Cardenas actually took a peek back just now. It looked like the horse was going to just suck out of there and drop through the field, but when he gets outside, he kind of like re-engages. So he's running greenly. Yeah, I mean, I could certainly use this horse. Absolutely. Blinkers, Lasix. You'll see a lot of we've talked about this a lot too. You'll see a lot of the Lasix. This horse is running on at the end here. Looks like he's going to get there at one point, and then you see Prospect Mountain come from well off the pace, and Bowling Snowman is just going to hold him for second.
I thought this horse ran fine. I mean, I just thought it was logical, and I didn't want to take the 6 at a short price. I mean, I didn't think anybody else was live in here, so I used 3 and 5. I mean, I don't.
Jimmy Bond won 23 more races than I did last year, so I'm not going to second guess what he does. But
their horses have run fine.
The younger horses, I don't love making the equipment change right away, but
again, Noctilucent. You're essentially right. It's it's translucent, bioluminescent, luminescent, and visible or glowing at night.
There you go.
I really learned something. It was very educational, talking horses.
Who was that?
I don't like the 8. I know the 8's not impossible. Wasn't this horse just sort of second by default last time?
Yeah, but it's a drop down. I mean...
Yeah, you're not wrong. No, the horse is impossible. You know? But I thought the horse would take money, and I preferred the others. Anybody else in here?
Maybe a little Rob Atras Firster, Kickerland, number 9. I don't know.
This horse is a very, very good horse, you know.
Was this the one that...
just in time for wine.
This
horse half to just in time for wine.
Did Sean ask you about this one? Is the one?
No, that was a Gulfstream. Because, you know, I'm scouring those Gulfstream cards.
I'm sure. Memorized.
Big price, though, in your horse yesterday for Kimmel, that horse. We were talking about.
Yeah, it was nice to see Cristal win. Almost, she's a pet.
No, I thought if you wanted a first-time star, I want the central banker for Mike Maselli on the rail, actually.
Okay.
Actually. That would be the first star I would use.
That's when Andy says the rail, he means the number 2 because there is an entry in this race.
Yeah, that's correct. The horse breaking.
Captain Remington, not Captain. Captain.
Captain. No, Capt.
So you got to say it out.
No, because wouldn't it be Captain, C-A-P apostrophe, and if it was Captain?
You got to say Captain.
Yeah, if it was.
You don't have to do anything. I mean, but that's what I do. Like the other day with that Destination Winners Circle.
We're going to be a COVID vaccine center here at Aqueduct starting next Monday.
I thought, is that what I thought it was supposed to be today?
I thought it was Monday.
I told a little fib and parked in front of the building. I should be in my usual spot in the lot. They gonna open it on the holiday? Maybe Tuesday? Who knows?
I thought I read Monday.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time.
I'll see you. We'll find out firsthand Monday. We'll be here.
Just glad that Naira can do their part. They're also giving them at Belmont as of now.
You know, Aqueduct always gets... I think is always in the back of the pack when it comes to the Naira tracks. But when you think about Aqueduct has hosted the Pope, Aqueduct served as a...
I was in Saratoga when the Pope was here.
A relay as well as a staging site during 9/11. Hurricane Sandy, the Red Cross set up camp here at Aqueduct. We still have COVID testing going on in the parking lot.
That's right.
And now we will have COVID vaccinations.
And we were also an alternative site, which fortunately didn't have to be used.
For the hospital.
Yeah.
The Big A,
I'm proud of being
the Big A has carried her weight in more ways than one for 70 years.
I have nothing but love for the Big A. I agree. And it
always have a special place.
It's painful because the problem that I have is, and you know, it's a city racetrack and nobody's denying what it is. 90+% of people that seem to knock it on the internet
never been here.
Nope. And they don't realize, they'll say nobody's at Aqueduct. Actually, no. When there's people at the racetrack, Aqueduct's busy every day.
Every day.
I miss the people as much, if not more, here than anywhere else.
I was saying that to Pam and Tina upstairs in the Horseman's Lounge. Yes, who work with us here at Naira. I was saying that because Saratoga, of course, is more of a full experience. Belmont is, you know, it's so
gargantuan.
Big. It's so big that, you know, people are spread out.
Right, with
when
sparse
you come
crowds,
here,
it's empty.
especially now at the casino, taking up half the building, when you come here, everybody's in 3 places. Yeah. Everybody's in 3. They're on the first floor.
I miss the guys. I miss Roy. I miss everybody.
The Roy TV is on. I don't know how that TV got on. That
Milton,
TV is like on.
Everybody. I miss all the guys.
Pie. I haven't seen Pie in...
Yeah, I know. It's...
All these guys, and gals. I mean, the crew when I grew up all the folks that I grew up
and
with
it
on
is
the first
busy
floor.
here
Yeah.
for people that have been here. People who've actually been here
Always.
know how busy it is
Always.
here. Anyhow, you can get busy by going over to Nairabets.com if you're not a member. Support racing in New York. And we will have people back at Aqueduct, hopefully sooner than later, when we can.
I look forward to that day.
Promo code is match200. We'll match for $200 of your initial deposit. Support racing in New York. Play through Nairabets. Keep the money in the game. It has to stay in the game. And of course, tomorrow from 6 to 7 on Fox Sports 1.
Can't wait for this.
The initial America's Day at the Races of 2021. LeCompte and the Silver Bullet Day, 6 to 7 tomorrow evening.
I believe that post time for the LeCompte is set for 6:50 Eastern time.
All right. We are done. John Embrial is back, and he will be calling his first race of 2021. But first, he'll be giving his first reprise in the Scratches and Changes. Have a great day.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct. It's a cloudy day here at the Big A. The temperature in the 40s. The main track is fast. In today's first race, couple of scratches. Scratch 5, Liquor, and 10, Triple Americano. Scratch numbers 5 and 10 out of the first. In the second race, note that number 3, Flash and Dynamite, will be 1 pound over. Today's third race will begin the Empire 6, Scratch 2, Castano, and 7, Family Biz. Scratch 2 and 7 out of the third. In race 4, scratch 1, My Delicious, part of an entry, and then scratch the 2, Obligatory. Scratch numbers 1 and 2. Note that number 5, Baba, will run with a hood. In race 5, scratch the 1A, Dashi. Scratch 1A, Dashi. Race 6, scratch the 2, Magnetron, and 4, Blood Moon. Scratch numbers 2 and 4. In the seventh race, scratch 3, Ragtime Blues, and 9, Acker. Scratch 3 and scratch 9, and note that number 1, Schottsky, is 1 pound over. And we have no changes in today's 8th and final race. The main track is fast here at the Big A. The opener is coming up in 27 minutes at 12:50.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Nairabets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Nairabets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Nairabets app or visit Nairabets.com. Need help in finalizing your picks for the next race? Check out the Track Master selections provided by Equibase on every U.S. thoroughbred and harness track on Nairabets. Use these selections to get quick expert advice from professionals in the business. Check out the thumbs up graphic next to the pick and the wager pad and scroll down for more details on the horse. Track Master selections available on Nairabets and the Nairabets app.
I think when people watch it on TV, they think that it's just a rich man's sport and there's nothing else involved. But when people actually come into this side of the sport and they see, and it puts a lot of dollars back into the industry in New York, and we need to protect that.
Working here, it's given me a life and a sense of security for not only myself financially, but also to provide for my family. Ideally, I would love to have my career here.
I'm a single mom. I was able to raise my son and put him through college, and something I'm very proud of, and I couldn't do it without New York racing.
In the backstretch, there is a community that surrounds the racetrack. People that work day in, day out, loving what they are doing.
I mean, there's electricians, there's plumbers, there's carpenters, there's all these men and women who do jobs every day.
One horse requires a hot walker, a groomer, a person who's going to walk them to the races, the people who take care of them every day. And we need all these people to take care of the horses and to continue moving forward in New York racing.
This job has given me not only hope for tomorrow, but has made so many of my wishes come true.
We're really real people back here working our butts off to make this happen. It's a commitment. There's a lot of people back here that depend on this place.
I had the opportunity to go back to school thanks to the jobs provided for us here.
Our industry is vital within this state.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
Jobs.
Opportunity.
Community.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
We are New York Racing.